All right. All right. We're glad to have you back. You know, Solomon Ajijogu just has a way of, you know.
He's in his dramatic element.
Absolutely. All right. We'll be looking at the papers again this morning, just in case you missed it the first time. We'll begin again with the Punch. Of course, as we're being joined by our guests, you know, you get to see him very, very shortly. We'll begin with the Punch. Of course, there's a Punch here, Daily Trust, and of course the Vanguard.
I have the Nation, the New Telegraph, as well as This Day. All
right. Justice Uhuebu is our guest. He's a lawyer and a human rights activist. Good to see you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us.
All right, we'll begin with the Punch. You're bad losers, APC tells Amosun, DG Vaughan and others. I was deceived and defrauded by APC. Defecting member cries out. What do you have to say about these things?
Well, this is the period of drama for the political parties.
Okay.
So we are still expecting to see more. But at the end of the day, very soon, the whole, what do I call it? The whole home video will be over.
But
So
there's some who are saying
video.
that
yes,
as long as the primaries are over, there will be less drama, because at that point in time, everybody knows
where they belong,
where they belong.
yeah, but if you, why I say the drama and the home video is because as I speak to you now, there are multiple litigations, you know, in various political parties. So as I speak to you, it is still not over yet.
Until it's over. Second us to EU, PDP has no confidence in INEC.
Yeah, I think I will agree with them. Personally, I do not.
Why?
Yeah, looking from the body language and the two recent elections conducted in Nigeria, the Osun and the Ekiti election. So let's be realistic to ourselves. Let's be factual.
I'm wondering which indices you're using, because that position is divided.
Yeah, if you ask me,
INEC recorded over 75% of PVC collection. It's the highest they have.
We're not talking about collection of PVC.
Because election is not just limited to what happens on election day. It's a process. Registration, there is the electoral materials. There seems to be some improvement on that part. Are you also looking at it from that point of view?
You see, let me tell you one thing. When you go to a football pitch and you play all the football and you did not win, does it make sense? It doesn't make sense.
All right, NLC threatens to shut down Nigeria after November 6. We already had that discussion earlier. Alleged 2.2 billion naira fraud. Fayose gets 50 million naira bail.
The Nation newspaper is next. Our decisions on primaries final. APC tells protesters Amosun resorted to self-help. Okechukwu lost in Enugu. Democracy won in Kaduna. Airtel raises $1.25 billion from investors. Telco achieves the widest 4G coverage in Nigeria. Minimum wage, not basic salary, says NECA. And the Nation girl Ojo wins Academy of Science Award. Evans thought he'd never be arrested, says witness. And stressing stories we've seen here on the front page of the Nation. But Fayose has gotten 50 million naira bail. Are you optimistic that he's going to get the bail in real time?
No, definitely. It is a bailable offense. The 50 million naira bail you got, you see, there are two things there. The court can grant you bail and request that a sum of money should be deposited. And the court can say, no, you don't deposit. In the first place, when you hear about 50 million naira bail, 100 million naira bail, does not mean you have to pay that money. It's a best sum. That what we call best sum in law. You understand the thing? So I think, to me, it's neither here nor there.
The ex-governor will be able to afford.
Definitely. If others could afford it, what is this?
All right, to the Daily Trust now. I wonder if you're one of the Nigerians really worried over population explosion. That's the headline with the Daily Trust. Nigeria worries over population explosion. Are you worried?
Well, we are all worried. I think we are all worried owing to what is happening in the country recently.
Okay. INEC to announce presidential candidates today. All right, so we'll get to find out who of, the 30 or so that we hear have emerged. 6 killed in Ogun Road crash. 2019, Buhari presents 8.73 trillion budget to National Assembly next month. Council Executive Secretary writes Buhari as protest slows down NHIS. I wonder if you've been following developments over this NHIS issue.
It's so unfortunate because In a government, they say they are fighting corruption, and such thing is happening, and how do I call it? The committee or the stakeholders sat and suspended him. They did not sack him or remove him. They suspended him pending investigations, but the impunity is so much. And where is he getting this sort of impunity? If he does not have the backing of the federal government, would he be doing this? Well, and the answer is no. So tell me the veracity or the rationale that we cannot convince Nigerians that we are fighting corruption.
Well, like they say, the answer is blowing in the wind.
One, though this is not the first one. It has been happening within this administration, so I'm not surprised.
Okay. Let's turn our attention to the New Telegraph very quickly. Primaries, how Amosun Shehu Sonnen lost out. APC says Tinubu Oshoba Shomole not involved in Ogun crisis, declares stand on Zamfara, Imo, Rivers, and mocks DGVON on outburst. Buhari's 3-year power achievement surpassed PDP's 16 years. That's coming from Fashola. I'm not sure you agree with that.
No, but you know that's a blatant lie.
No, according to you.
You know, I don't think there's any Nigerian today. We are Nigerians. I don't think there's any Nigerian today that will tell you that
we might have to take a survey to be able to come to arrive at the figure. There are people who tell you that my
I am a Nigerian. I'm living here. I'm not living abroad.
Well, you are not living in all the parts of the country.
So I travel a lot.
Oh, come on.
I stay in Lagos, in the east, Abuja. So which part of God have I not been to?
Okay. So you think
we should stop all these things?
You think it's a prevarication? I will not use the word you used.
Well, I expect him to even give credit to himself as the minister for power, if actually he's doing something. I don't want to go further, because if you remember, before this government came in place, he made a statement that was credited to him that any responsible government that do not fix power in 6 months should leave. So how many years has he been there? How many years has this administration stayed?
All right. Well, 3 years.
Fine. But he said 6 months.
Compared to 16 years.
But he said 6 months.
Okay. There you go. My final paper is the Vanguard. Amosun Okorocha Yari Bad Losers, says APC. IMF on tax in Nigeria. Expand tax net rather than tax rate. MAN, LCCI, other stakeholders tell FG. And Dangote emerges 6th most charitable person globally. Isn't that something we should be learning from? That's above the masthead there. 6th most charitable person in the world. That's interesting. So in spite of the challenges that we have in Nigeria, there are people shining the bright light for us to follow.
You call it shining? When during the last administration we had him as the most richest
richest African.
Yeah. So we are not talking about charitable. How do we put it?
There are many people who are rich that are not charitable.
That word charitable is an omnibus provision.
Okay.
That if we begin to define it, so many things will come in. So what do you mean by charitable? On what area? After somebody's name is Charity in the first place.
Okay, so you're not impressed. In other words, political thugs stop court from sitting in Umuahia. As a lawyer, I wonder how this comes to you.
Yeah, it's so unfortunate. It's part of the impunity we are talking about, because gradually, you see, let me tell you, gradually, I don't know, I pray that we don't put this country into a state of standstill. Because I sounded a note of warning some time ago that the 3 organs of government may fail, the other 2, but once the judiciary begins to have problem, we are heading to doom.
Okay. It's all right. We have this day here. Article cries to EU. WEF says federal government intimidating political opponents. PDP reiterates lack of confidence in INEC, insists on Amina's resignation. Foreign observers consult with stakeholders. Oshomole walks tightrope, seeks reconciliation with aggrieved governors, weighs options in troubled states. NLC mobilizes workers for Monday's strike. Are you hopeful that we'll be able to, the federal government and the labor unions will be able to reach a compromise before the deadline?
From the body language, I don't see that. I don't see that. It's so unfortunate that we may be going to that side again in this country. I thought by now would have said no to all these industrial actions.
So are you going to take labor's advice? Go and get food,
well, we've done it before.
You've
done it before. You remember the 2012?
Have you started stocking?
Well, people got tired. Shebi is when you have money. When you have money, you start stocking. There's no money anywhere.
Why do I feel like you're just being mischievous? Immediately, forex restriction of 41 items saved Nigeria's economy, and Alama is equally worried over rising debt.